Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the man got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's a local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go. On this Monday evening, it is the 21st day of April 2025, 6 o'clock straight up, ladies and gentlemen, which means it is time for an all-new and live Real Talk Memphis. Glad to have you with us. I am your humble host. My name is Chip Washington. You know who you are, so we don't have to go through all of that. But I'm glad you are here, if you are, this evening for the next hour. We are going to engage in some great conversation with some great guests about some great topics, and we'll do that in just a few minutes. But, you know, there's a lot of different ways you can catch this fine piece of radio broadcasting. The first way, of course, is 91.7 on your FM dial. That would be WYXR, where you're on right now. You can tune in and hear us. You can also find us on the TuneIn app, TUNEIN. Put in Real Talk Memphis in the search and you'll find us. We are also live streaming the show tonight on Facebook Live. And when the show posts in the next couple of days, you can find us on YouTube. And, of course, we are a podcast. Did you know we're a podcast? Well, you know now. We're a podcast, so you can catch us once the show posts wherever it is you get your podcast. A lovely, lovely day in the city today after a rather stormy overnight. But today it turned out to be beautiful. We're going to see some off and on rain here as we get, I think, Wednesday through the end of the week. But first couple of days of the week, tomorrow should be right around 80 degrees. So, yeah, it feels a lot like spring outside, and you should get out and enjoy it as you can or while you can. We have a great guest list for you tonight, or at least I think so. We are going to be speaking in just a few minutes with Dr. Kandace Thomas. Who is she? She's the executive director of a nonprofit organization dealing with the educational factor of things called First 8 Memphis. What is that, you ask? Well, you will find out in just a few minutes. But they believe in starting education with our young babies while they're young. And we'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. A little bit later on, we will be speaking with Dr. Russell Wigginton. He is the president and CEO of the National Civil Rights Museum, and we will talk with him about some of the projects that they are working on here in 2025. And we will talk about, trying to fight against what the government is looking at in terms of slashing museums and libraries and things like that. Maybe in terms of a budget, we're going to see if he's heard anything about that or if he's even concerned about that. I know I am. And a little bit later on, we are going to shift to the arts. And we are going to speak with the founder of Hattie Lou Theater. His name is Kandace Bandele, and he will be joining us in the second half hour of the show. So there you go. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? I think it does. Anyway, we will get to all of that in just a minute. We do birthdays on this broadcast, in case you did not know. So if you celebrated your birthday today, and it was a very small list today, but if you celebrated today or over the weekend, happy birthday. I hope the celebration was wonderful and great, and you woke up this morning without a hangover or a headache, right? You were able to get on with your business. If you have a birthday this week, we're going to celebrate you as well. We do that with a little thing we like to call the shout out, but we can't do that until I say, hit it, Brent. Happy birthday! Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to the following. This is, as I said, is a very short list today. Happy birthday going out to Joycelyn Reed Williams, celebrating her birthday today. Happy birthday, Charles Jefferson. And happy birthday to Charlene Johnson Calhoun. Those are the only 3 birthdays I have today. If you have your birthday, you didn't let me know about it. I'm sorry, but happy birthday to you anyway. And I hope that this day has been filled with love and laughter, and we look forward to being with you next year as you celebrate your next trip around the sun. Happy birthday, everybody. Thanks, Brent. Quick look at news and notes before we get into things. The Memphis and Shelby County Schools takeover plan, which has been proposed in the State House on the Senate side and the House side. Right now, they're looking at a compromise between both bills. You have to submit one bill. But they're looking to compromise, I guess, take something from one of the bills authored by Mark White, something from the other bill authored by Senator Brent Taylor, and kind of put everything together to come up with a comprehensive bill. They are going to, the Senate is going to have their debate tomorrow. I believe the House had their debate today. No, it has not been canceled. It has not been postponed. The legislative session ends, I believe, this week. So they have to get this thing done within the next day or so. So we will be paying close attention to that. Again, and you know, this would of course be a process by which things will be taken over in terms of the local school district by the state, who would appoint a group of individuals, maybe 6, maybe 7, to be school managers, if you will. They will oversee the entire process of everything that happens regarding your children's education should this bill pass. And so we'll have to keep a very, very close eye on it. Could be 6 members, could be 7 members. And, of course, this could go from anywhere from 4 to even 6 years. I guess that they feel that it would take that long to turn all of this around. All of this on the heels, of course, of the Memphis and Shelby County Schools firing Dr. Marie Fagans and all of the subsequent back and forth that happens in reference to all of that. So we will, again, this is a very, very important component. We need you to pay attention to it as well. It is known as the Tennessee Public School Accountability Act, which, again, would authorize the Department of Education in Tennessee to appoint a board of managers. Yeah. I know you're asking yourself, well, what about the people that we elected? Well, what about them? That's kind of the attitude that they're taking. Anyway, moving forward here, there has been a lot of conversation about XAI, the Elon Musk funded project for these supercomputers that are coming here. Well, these turbines that are being used in reference to that are at question now. Many people who live in the southwestern part of Memphis, Riverside, and and folks over in the South Memphis zone of things are very concerned about the fact that there could be some possible side effects in reference to pollution. Well, there's been a lot of conversation and a lot of discussion about this, circling this, and there will be a public meeting hosted this Friday by the Shelby County Health Department. I say that because a lot of the folks who are complaining about this have an opportunity now to hear from the experts from the Shelby County Health Department. This public meeting will be hosted by Dr. Michelle Taylor of the Health Department. Because, again, a lot of folks are concerned. We don't know exactly what these turbines will produce, and we don't know how it will affect, if any, the air quality behind all of this. The meeting will be Friday evening at 5 o'clock, I believe, at Fairleigh High School. And the public is invited to show up and hear the presentation and ask all of the questions that need to be asked. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't say this often, but you need to get off your rusty dusty and go and attend and learn and find out about what is happening in and around your communities, so at least you will know Okay, and again, voices, collective voices can make a difference. Dr. Taylor says we ought to stop this right now until we find out all of the information. Also, the environmental groups around here are involved in this as well. We had Keyshawn Pearson on the show a couple of weeks back. He's the head of one of the groups, the pollution groups here in town, and says this should absolutely be halted until we can find out more information about what is happening. So, again, this Friday, 5 p.m. over at Fairleigh High School. Let's pack the place out. I plan on trying to attend that meeting. I think it's important enough. If I'm going to sit here and talk about it, I need to know about it as well. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will get into the broadcast. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had by the way, I hope that you all had a wonderful Easter celebration yesterday with family and friends. A lot of folks I know went to worship and had food, fun, and fellowship and had a good time yesterday. I hope that was you were involved in the mix. Also, before I go to break, we need to pay attention to ourselves and our surroundings. There's a lot going on in the city of Memphis, and not all of it's good. We're seeing a lot of violence and spiking and things that are happening. A 15-year-old boy lost his life after a shooting yesterday afternoon. Don't have any suspects, don't know what it was all about or anything else, but another child has lost his life. We're seeing far too much of that lately, and we need to do a lot of praying, and we need to hold a lot of folks accountable. But no more so than ourselves in situations like this, okay? So we need to pray for the families that are affected by any kind of tragedy here in our city. But we can do better, and we should do better, and we should hold folks accountable for doing better. With that, let me take a break, and when we come back, let's get into it, shall we? I'm Chip. You know who you are. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. I know we're having some technical difficulties in terms of our live stream. You all can still hear us on the radio and elsewhere. But anyway, I do have my first guest on the phone with me right now, and we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. I told you a few minutes ago about an educational organization who is working very hard to make sure that our young folks, and I mean our very young little babies, have a good start educationally in this world. And she joins me now. She is the executive director of an organization called First 8 Memphis, and her name is Dr. Kandace Thomas. And Dr. Kandace, it is great to see you. Welcome to Real Talk Memphis. How are you tonight?
Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
We're going to make it. We're going to be okay. We're doing fine. But thank you so much for being here. And first things first, if you don't mind, for folks who are not familiar, tell us about First 8 Memphis. And I'm curious as to exactly what you mean by that and why that title.
Yeah, so First 8 means the first 8 years of a person's life.
Okay.
So starting at birth up until age 8 or until a child enters the 3rd grade. And they named this organization First 8 because we know that the first 8 years of our lives determine everything about us late into our lives. So the first years of our lives, our early childhood years, is most important. And so when the organization was named, they were acknowledging the importance of those years.
So having said that, you all have been working hard to try to get other folks, especially the folks in the county commission and the city council, to understand, and a lot of folks have been really battling this with you about just what you said, and starting our young babies off and giving them a good start in life, the K through 3, and basically starting them at age 3. Am I correct in that in terms of the learning opportunity?
Yeah, you're talking about pre-K for all.
Pre-K for all,
which
yes,
would-
ma'am. Mhm.
Yes. So we are trying to advance pre-K to include 3-year-olds. So right now it's only for 4-year-olds in our community and across the state. And we're trying to expand that to include 3-year-olds and also to expand it so that there's no income limitations.
How big a deal is that? I mean, I obviously I know it's a very big deal, but I mean, obviously this has been a lot of work going into this, and you obviously have the okay from, correct me if I'm wrong, the county commission and the city council. How big a deal is this for you?
Oh, it's a big deal for the community. It's not a big deal for me. This is a big deal for families with young children. So first, Memphis would be one of less than 10 cities and counties around the country with pre-K for all. So that would be a huge win for Memphis and Shelby County. And most importantly, it would be big for families. You may know that it can cost up to $1,000 a month for a family to pay for their child to go into childcare at 3 years old or at 4 years old. And so one, it would help families. Two, it would be about businesses. We know that when a parent sends their child to a place where they know that child is going to be cared for and they know that baby's going to be safe and they're going to be learning, they're going to go to work. They're going to feel like, okay, I can be at work and not worried about this baby. And then our businesses have a more competitive edge in terms of having employees who can send their child to a high quality center and being able to work and be a part of our economic community. So this is a win-win for everybody, babies, families, and businesses.
Absolutely, and it has been proven. I imagine I read some of this on your website that it has been proven that in later years, as young people advance into some of the higher grades, there is more of a success rate if they indeed can start at an earlier age. Am I correct in that?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. So we see it starting with pre-kindergarten readiness scores. We see it at third grade reading. We know that they graduate high school at a higher degree than students who didn't have early education, and on and on. So this is it's a win-win for our community.
So, in reference to this, in particular, as you've been trying to get other people to realize and understand this, and you laid it out beautifully as to what the benefits are, have there been any pushback from anybody in particular in the community or the elected officials or anybody in reference to what you have been trying to do for so long?
No, there has not been a lot of pushback. And maybe that's because actually here in Memphis, folks have been fighting for pre-K for all for over 10 years. So there's been different interests over the years for pre-K for all. But now we're at the right time with the right folks at the table. And tomorrow we'll know if we're going to make it happen.
Well, listen, we are I'm very excited for you because I think that obviously this is something that has been going on for
The sound is off. I can't hear you very well.
Oh, okay. Hold on just a second. I'm sorry. Can you hear me better now or no? Can you hear me?
I hear you a tiny bit, but it's cutting in and out.
Okay, we're trying to get the sound here straight. We're doing good here a second ago, but
okay, wait, there you are.
Okay, there I are. Okay, good enough. But what I wanted to ask you finally, and I think I almost lost track of the question, but really, in terms of this, we have heard for a very long time about the fact that the test scores in our schools, in particular, have been down for a while. The testing, right? And they're doing their TCAP testing and things like that. And one of the biggest issues that we've been faced with is the fact that reading scores are down. So if you look at this from the perspective of where you're coming from, this really does have to be a big deal. And again, you're proving a point that this really will be a more successful product, having started these young folks a bit earlier, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So we know that if young children have exposure to early learning, so really this is about an adult who cares for a child from a developmental perspective, who understands what does it mean to educate a 3-year-old, to care for a 3-year-old. We know that they will improve test scores later on. So I think we're gonna answer some of the problems that we may have in our community around reading and literacy with early learning.
So now that we are taking this advanced step, if folks want to understand more about your organization and the fine work that you do, please let us know how they can get in touch with you at First 8 and find out more about the organization and what you all have to offer educationally and academically for our young folks.
Sure. So First 8 is what is called a backbone systems organization. So we don't do any direct work with young people. We let the people in the classrooms and childcare settings and family day homes, et cetera, do all the work. We are doing everything on the back end to support them. So you can find out more about First 8 Memphis from our website, first8memphis.org. Or you can find out more about pre-K at prekmemphis.com. And that it'll get you right to us. And we're working hard on behalf of the community.
And before I let you go, I want you to if you would to give a message to our community, to the folks who are listening to this broadcast right now, in terms of the future of education for our young people here in Memphis and Shelby County. If you could give them something to be inspired about, or to understand that, it is really up to all of us as shareholders in the future of our children's education, what message would you say to our parents and folks who might be listening?
So I would say first, the earlier we start, the better. I'm an early childhood person. We know that babies are born ready to interact and engage with the adults who care for them. So waiting to 3 years old is even too late. Start loving on your baby as soon as they come into your family. Talk to them, read to them, sing with them. That is the building blocks. So when they do go to pre-K at 3, they would have had some of those important interactions. And you got this. You can talk to your babies. You can sing to your babies. You can read to your babies. And that is going to get us ready for when they turn 3 and hopefully start pre-K or a high quality learning center.
Dr. Kandace Thomas, ladies and gentlemen, Executive Director of First 8 Memphis. You heard what she said. Start loving your babies as soon as they get here. Dr. Thomas, thank you so much for taking the time out and working with us, a little bit here technically. Really appreciate everything that you are doing in and around our community. And thank you so much for coming on the show tonight.
Thank you so much.
Take good care. Thank you. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. First 8 Memphis. Look, start these children out right and start them out young and get them to the place where by the time, they're 3 years old, they're already rocking and rolling and ready to go. Congratulations on all of the hard work for the folks at First 8 Memphis. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll continue on the Monday edition of Real Talk Memphis. I'm Chip. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
I think we have another get. Do we have Russ? Is Russ checked in? Is he there? Russell, are you there? There he is. Okay, he's coming now. Well, I can't believe we're going to get all this in. We may be there he is. Can you hear me okay, sir? Oh, bless your heart. Listen, first of all, thank you for hanging in there with us. Sometimes the technical gremlins get in the machinery, but I'm glad we were able to get you on. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to see you, Chip.
It's good to see you too, my friend. So listen, I wanted to ask you in specific. First of all, I want to talk about some of the projects that you're working on this year at the National Civil Rights Museum. But I want to ask you too. You know, we're seeing some movement in the federal government about some slashing of programs. One of those I think is that maybe has been discussed is about libraries and museums like yours. And possible cutting. We've heard about the Smithsonian, the museum in Washington, D.C. That depicts Black history. How concerned, if any, are you about those programs, the funding being cut, and more importantly, really taking a big slice of American history away from us?
Yeah, I'm very concerned, and because we are a private foundation and we don't rely on those resources, you're talking about the Institute for Museum and Library Sciences.
Yes.
That we're fortunate in that regard. But make no mistake about it, so many of my colleagues and sister institutions around the country are situated differently. We need support, but we don't have a line item from the federal government like many of them do. Mm-hmm. What I'm concerned about is when you take museums, parks, zoos, libraries out of the ecosystem for all communities.
Right.
What you do is you damage community. Those are places where people come together across all of the typical boundaries that we've established. That's where people come together across zip codes, socioeconomic status, race and ethnicity, and religion. That's where we have our best examples of being in community. And when you diminish that, you're suggesting very strongly that community is not important. That's what concerns me.
Yeah, and you know, I was listening to what you were saying, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, I mean, I talk all the time about, you know, really taking a major slice of American history. I mean, we're seeing efforts now across this country in schools by wiping out, the history of Black Americans in this country. And I guess I'm troubled, like you are, in terms of the current and future generations. How are people going to get an accurate depiction of where we have come from to where we are now, even now and beyond into the future, if things like this are allowed to happen? And a very important piece of American history, and I don't need to tell anybody any more than that than you, might be erased from giving these young people an opportunity to learn. That's why I value and treasure so much the National Civil Rights Museum.
Well, we appreciate that, and it is actually a very exciting time for us. We have a significant, unprecedented renovation going on with our Founders Park, Legacy Terrace, and the boarding house, the building that where the alleged shot was fired. We are focused on telling that story from 1968 to the present. We know that the story in the Lorraine Motel goes up through the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King. That is a powerful and important foundational story and a comprehensive story of the American Civil Rights Movement for all people to learn from and be inspired by. But it's also important that we talk about civil and human rights that have happened since 1968, because that was over 50 years ago. And there has been so many steps forward, some steps back, and continuing to recognize the sacrifices and the struggle that we've had and the figuring out, if you will, as a country of how we move forward. So we are doing that in the building called the boarding house. Dr. King's last book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos Our Community, is the umbrella, if you will, by which we are renovating that building. So we are going to talk about important issues continue to be connected to nonviolence. We're going to talk about poverty and housing and job opportunities and how our society has continued to struggle with equity and equality. But we're going to do it in a way that young people in particular can see themselves and connect with it and learn and use it as a jump off point to learn and understand the heart of the civil rights movement historically.
Yeah, that fight continues. Before I let you go, I want to know from you, as the man who oversees the operations at this absolutely magnificent museum, when you see crowds coming in, and really, I'm speaking of everyday crowds, but even on the special occasions, the Juneteenth and the King holidays and a lot of other things, what do you hope that people who come through with their families and even down to the littlest babies, what do you hope folks take away from the experience that you are building at that museum?
I want people to, however they enter, at various degrees of knowledge, whatever notions they may have coming in, whether they've been there before or not, I want them to know that they are welcome and show up authentically as whoever they are. And I want them to have both an intellectual, so a learning, educational opportunity, but I want them to also have a heartfelt experience, what I call a head and heart collision. I want them to be emotionally touched and inspired and motivated to think about what role they serve in helping our country reach its full potential. So I want them to learn something and I want them to be touched by something.
Dr. Russell Wigginton, President and CEO of the National Civil Rights Museum. Russ, thank you so much, man, for hanging in there with us through the ups and downs of this evening. I really am so happy to have had you on to share some of your insight with us, and I look forward to talking to you down the road, my friend. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
It's always about getting through